Wingspan Asia. This is your review for 2. Good day, my name is Joe Gerba. Today I'll be going over Wingspan Asia and how it plays with 2 players. Now this box is a 1 to 2 player standalone game, or you could play it, and add the additional cards to the base Wingspan game, and it gives you 2 additional boards to have the 5 to 6 player big game, but you do need the base game of Wingspan. So let's see a little bit more how to play. So I'll keep this review pretty short because, for the most part, this game is just Wingspan again. The big changes are going to be in this duet board that you have, and it's kind of neat. They give you different end of round tiles, but this is the 2-player, specific version of the game. Really, when you put a bird, you'll place one of your tokens. One side is black and the other side has the white, kind of the yin and yang. And you'll put a token on the board that matches the current nest or resource you paid for it. And that may give you some more end of round bonuses that aren't in the base game. So the big difference in the game is you'll be filling up this board, trying to get big contiguous places, but you can only put your tokens in the areas that kind of match the bird you just played. Other than that, it's basic Wingspan. You have your end of game goals. You have a big stack of birds that can be found in Asia. You don't have the big tower, but you have a nice map, which is just fine for us. But it comes with this game is a complete package for 1 to 2 players if that's all you're going to play with Wingspan. So see a little bit more what I thought about the game. So the components in this game, great. Wingspan always just has fantastic components. The rules, very straightforward. And to be honest, I skimmed them with just looking at the changes from, Wingspan to this. The references are fantastic. They give you a whole appendix, full of just questions that can already be answered when you look at this. It's just rules, references, everything with this game is just top-notch production. Let's talk about setup. Setup is really easy, especially if you kind of keep this separate from Wingspan, which I'll go over in a little bit, but it's, placing the tiles, giving, each person 2 end of game goals. They pick one set of 5 cards with 5 resources, and you get to mix and match those at the beginning. Then you're just playing a basic game of Wingspan. Probably the only thing different is you have to put, one of these tokens on every one of these open spaces. But other than that, the setup is just as easy as Wingspan is. This can definitely be played on a 3x3 with plenty of elbow room. Just a great size game and just a great, game for this, size box. So let's talk about the gameplay. Now I'm going to specifically talk about the 2-player duet mode. Now in some games you play, and especially with an expansion, it just adds a little extra bookkeeping or a lot of extra bookkeeping. And I would say this is a little bit more of the same. The extra bookkeeping though helps you score end of round points. A lot of these are based on this board that you're going to be putting your tokens on, and it's kind of a little mini game outside of the actual hand management game. I can't say that it was like fantastic way, but it gave you another layer of depth in the 2-player game, really, where they give you an essence of area control. Now you wouldn't think in Wingspan that this is necessarily needed, but the area control, the seeing what your opponent has, what's out on the table for them to pick up, what they might have in their hand, it gives you a good sense of, well, what do I need to do to score these extra couple points? Because the first game we played, we were separated by 7 points. The second game, 5 points. So every point in this game is really crucial. You score points in the same way: eggs, tuck cards, bird points, end of game goals. But these end of round goals can really be crucial to kind of push you over the edge. But for the duet mode, you're basically playing Wingspan with the added condition that you're just playing with these cards. You could probably play with all the cards, and a little extra area control. But the game of Wingspan is just fun. It's easy. To be honest, I kind of like not having the big dice tower and just having this board to roll on. When you use a dice, you take it off the board. Like I said, a standalone 2-player game in this box and it plays just as good, you know, as at Wingspan. It is Wingspan, just in a 2-player. So if you're gonna, you know, ask yourself, do I need this or, you know, Wingspan? If you just play with 2, man, this is a good way to go. But gameplay itself, Wingspan, just a great game. A lot of options, a lot of different combos you can make, and a lot of decisions to be made, which, in my opinion, make a great game. So let's talk about the replayability a little bit. I think it has a high replayability. You know, I kind of wish they gave you a couple options for this board, kind of mix it up a little bit, but to be honest, you can't really plan for this board too much until you see what you draw in your hand. Now, once again, they give you a ton of birds, and this is just awesome. You know, unlike Everdell and maybe Red Rising, where you wish that you knew what was coming in the deck because you want to plan for it, these are just fun to see how can I alter my strategy to work and score me the most points. This is kind of the game I like, having a big deck where I can see cards and say, well, how do I do this? Instead of expecting, well, I need this, you know, this card X to score this many extra points. So I like this game when they do give you a lot of cards and you're not really you fish for that one card. So the replayability to me is great. The play time is just the right amount of time, especially for 2 players, and just there's a lot in this game. And to be honest, I don't think I'd be, you know, for more replayability, I don't think I'll be mixing these cards with our base game of Wingspan. So let's talk about the nitty-gritty. Is this game good for 2? And if you don't have Wingspan and you only play with 2, this is a must pick up for me. This is Wingspan for 2 players with a little extra board, and it has everything you need as far as the cards go. There's plenty of these, easy to pick up and play. This box is portable. We'll probably take it on our next vacation. You know, usually we just, you know, if we have some downtime on an hour after maybe a long hike or something, this is one of those games that's just relaxing and fun to play. You do need a 3x3, so you can't play on a little bit smaller area. You probably can't play in an airport, but it's just in a box. If you don't own Wingspan Asia, this 2-player edition is awesome. It's amazing. If you own Wingspan, however, I'm kind of more on the fence if you should get this, because it doesn't add anything revolutionary. You can't play with this board if you don't play with 2 players. I don't know how the 1-player mode, I assume the 1-player probably uses this board, but over 2 players, you don't use this board. It gives you enough cards to feel like its own standalone game. I won't mix this with our big version of Wingspan because I don't need I think we have another Oceanic expansion in our stacks already, you know, yay high. So to me, if you don't own Wingspan but you're curious if you would like it for 2 players, this is the way to go. If you ever see yourself playing 3 or more, I would just purchase the base game of Wingspan. So a lot of different purchasing avenues. If you own the base game, do you need this one? No. Is it a little bit fun to add more birds, add more variety? Yes. So kind of on the fence of what I think about it, but for a 2-player game, if you just play 2-player and you don't own Wingspan, Wingspan Asia is just a great game in the box. So hope you guys enjoyed, hopefully, the short review, and until next time.